I can honestly say this year probably takes the cake for the largest amount of professional growth that I've been able to achieve in 1 year. Probably even personal growth. I do believe the two go hand in hand. This year, though, in particular, what was massive for me was a lot of the growth that I experienced came from betting on myself. Historically, and as I was getting more established in my career and really kicking it off, a lot of what I was able to grow through came from opportunities that I over attributed to other people. That is to say, I might have had a business idea and I would bring a partner in on it, or I would only accept opportunities that were put on the table in front of me by somebody else, as opposed to developing and maintaining conviction and confidence around the opportunities that I saw, that I really didn't need anybody to support me in being able to at least begin executing on fulfilling. And that's been really huge for me. And I think it's important for a lot of people that are operationally minded, that are builders, that care, that have their heart on their sleeve, that are empathetic, and that want to support people. Supporting people doesn't mean that that needs to be the entirety of your identity. Just because supporting people is something that you feel called to do and that you do very well and that fulfills you and fills your cup doesn't mean that that needs to become all that you are. And the reason that I'm making that distinction, speaking to myself historically, is because if you make that the entirety of identity, a couple of things begin to hold true. Number one, when you cannot serve somebody in the way that they want to be served or that you believe they can be, you start to feel really poorly about yourself. And that's problematic because sometimes the reason that people can't be served in the way that they want is their own fault. They won't allow themselves to be helped. It's like the person that is drowning and committed to taking the person that is trying to save them under the water with them. And if you are looking at yourself in the mirror in those kinds of situations and thinking that there's something wrong with you, it's the beginning of a very vicious cycle that is not healthy or helpful to you. The second thing that happens if you over identify with your heart of servitude is you stop seeing anything as an achievement or as an accomplishment. Everything is just what you were supposed to do. And you will get to a point, if your journey is anything like mine, where you are awake at night and somebody hits you up for something and you throw your phone across the room and you're so annoyed and pissed off and you develop this resentment for the world that it feels like you've given so much to and that is only interested in taking from you. And that's a distorted perception. It isn't actually true, but it is true if you think that your job is to make everything what everybody else wants it to be for them. Because that's not a journey or that's not a mission that you can ever complete, right? That isn't a fight that you're ever going to win. And as a bit of a tangent, there's two things that I realized as I was reflecting on this a few weeks ago that are fundamentally problematic assumptions or beliefs that contribute to that problem. One of the first is I am supposed to help everybody. And the second is I can help everybody. And the two are very different because if you believe that you are supposed to help everybody, but you don't yet have the realization that that is not possible, then you will consistently be judging yourself not only for your ability to have, like whether or not you're going out of your way to help people to an adequate degree, right? Which is pretty much everything short of cutting your arm off and giving it to people. But you are also disappointed in yourself chronically because you feel like, oh, I'm 2 out of 10 on my ability to actually help the people that I'm trying to help get to where they want to be or become who they want to become. Yeah, no shit. That's because it's not possible. But if you don't know that, and it sounds silly, but I didn't know that. I grew up genuinely believing that my measurement of myself as a person was supposed to be associated with how well I helped people and how well I was able to self sacrifice. If someone needed something and I took it upon myself to help them, which was pretty much all the time, and they did not see the outcome that they wanted, I thought that I was a failure. And that happened more often than not. So there's a lot that goes there, right? I would say maybe the third thing that comes from your identity being tied up in your ability to serve is that you never actually develop discernment. You never develop the discernment that will determine whether or not you pick the right partner, whether that's in business, whether that's in life, whether that's in a platonic relationship, because you're never watching for the cues that will show you whether or not somebody is in a position to be helped and what it is that you actually can contribute to the situation. Because most of the time, if you're trying to take somebody from 0 to 100 in whatever way that looks like, you are on an uphill battle. And it's not to say that that isn't a battle that you should take on. It is to say that you should be able to recognize when that is what you are doing. Because otherwise, if you are in a position where you're overextended, where you're just at peace in your own life, where you have finally made clarity around your priorities and the things that you need to do to feed yourself. But you accept a situation, you accept a position of servitude that will overextend you. That's where the resentment comes in because you know that there are ways that you should be serving yourself. And those are often taking a back seat, or otherwise you aren't showing up to perform them as thoroughly as you could and as well as you could because you are so spread thin and so much of your energy and time is going into trying to serve somebody in a situation that is an uphill battle. And you just did not realize that. I'm sharing this because as I'm reflecting on this year and looking at all of the growth that I've been able to facilitate and that I've been blessed with, so much of it has just come from trusting myself. But that the prerequisite to being able to trust myself to the degree that I have this year was recognizing everything that I just shared with you and being willing to take that leap of faith and commit to and have conviction around the fact that I need to serve myself and even get comfortable with people serving me, right? People coming into my business, coming into my team, clients, even in some ways, being able to serve me in whatever way that looks. Hey, can you give me a testimonial? Hey, could you make a referral? Hey, I really need this done by Friday and I need you to figure it out. Those are all things and conversations that I would not have had a year ago, a year and a half ago, or if I would have, it would have come with a great degree of guilt. And so if you are somebody that has experienced any of what I just described, just know that everything will start to shift the more respectfully, of course, the more that you are able to move with conviction around your own importance, your own impact, your own vision, and your own recognition of opportunity.